What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the NECC week number 4 Rocket League. We are back again. My name is Bass from the past, and joined with me today is the one, the only Hypheria. Hypheria, we have got quite the matchup to start off today. We move to our highest division in the East, East number 1, our Champions Division, to watch as we have Fanshawe College versus Potomac State. This is going to be one heck of a matchup. How are you doing on this, I believe, fine evening for you, my friend?
Yes, sir. It is indeed evening. It is 11 in the evening for me right now, but I am looking forward to this match so much. We saw Fanshawe previous week as well. We saw play. They did end up losing against Montclair State in a 1-3 fashion, but it was a phenomenal game. Just in general, the season for Fanshawe hasn't been going too great. They're currently 1-2, with their one win being a complete sweep. On the other side, Potomac, they are 2-0. Or 2-1, I do apologize, with 2 of those being sweeps and the other one in game 5 against St. Clair. So really, statistic-wise, you have to give this to Potomac, but it is still going to be a battle for sure because Fanshawe, they are incredibly defensive.
Oh yeah, both of these teams have absolutely proven already here. They at least do have a win apiece, so both of the teams have experienced the highest of highs there and, know when the momentum is in their favor. But I honestly expect a battle between the two of these guys. Again, we're only here in week number 4. Plenty of time for these teams to try and turn around their season, or really even at this, neither of these teams need to technically turn it around. If we do see Fanshawe win this, they're going to go about even. If we see Potomac State take this one, they're going to go 3-1, which is a great record. Either way, both of these are lethal squads that could potentially have playoff runs depending on how the rest of their season goes. So I will say this is definitely going to be a very, very influential game between these two teams. Usually this is, I would say, that maybe it's going to be about even in there, whatever happens because it's early enough in the season. But 3-1 is a good amount of momentum to where you can kind of clear a lot of your opponents and have a little bit of breathing room to take some losses. Similarly for Fanshawe, going even and not going 2 games underneath to start off is definitely going to be helpful. So momentum going to be one of the biggest factors here in this game.
Yeah, it's kind of a breaking point in the season, kind of that point where you can start saying to a team, hey, look, they have been playing these kind of results. They've been playing like that. So for the rest of the season, we're expecting this, and that. Whereas at the start, you really have no clue, and it's just an absolute dumpster fire going all around. And whether it's going to be a good dumpster fire, well, we're going to have to find out, because this is a pivotal match, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're just about ready here, making sure that we've got everybody on the field, making sure that we've got all the teams in, and then we will have our very first matchup of the day here. Hypheria, it's a pleasure as always to kick this one off with you. This is going to be a phenomenal week full of Rocket League action. We have got a long schedule ahead of us here today, guys. So make sure to stick around. This is only game number 1 of series number 1. Good luck to both of these teams. Let's see what they've got.
And let's see what they've got indeed in boxes, where I'm going to be expecting a phenomenal defensive performance. And if Fanshawe don't manage to get that defensive performance, they're going to be looking in trouble. But, well, we're going to have to see that, however that unfolds as Zero clears that into roll. It's actually intercepted by Kenrick. It's blocked by Goldfood. It's not really a great clear out there. And the offense is still coming. Boxes and Kenrick both up for that one. Allows the counter attack for Goldfood and Rots. Well, Rots started it. Goldfood will finish the job 30 seconds in. Already a lead.
A very quick response there out of Potomac State. They're going to immediately capitalize here out in midfield, pop this one on in, and only in 27 seconds take an early lead. You mentioned earlier we're going to expect a somewhat of a defensive effort out of Fanshawe. So far, we have not seen that, but very early in the series, very early in the game, matter of fact. Plenty of time for either of these teams to try and swing the momentum in their favor. But right now, definitely looking it's going to be Potomac State in the lead. Azuro almost able to slot a second one in, but still, it's been all offense so far here for Potomac.
Yeah, we did see that one offensive side coming in from Fanshawe, but they didn't manage to capitalize on it. Surely this doesn't manage to find its way in. Indeed, it doesn't. Boxes straight into... it was going to be Kenrick, who then decided that he would rather demo, and now that leaves a gap in the defense, and a pre-flip from Rotz will get that into the back of the net.
Again, these counterattacks, they are very efficient. Heads up play to pass that one out there from Azuro. Knew that Backstar was going to be back there, so if Rotz could just get an easy shot in, that one would make it way through much easier than a normal shot on target there. Good heads up play so far from Potomac, and really, they seem to have caught their opponents off guard so far here. Fanshawe have looked very uncomfortable trying to, maintain these counterattacks as well as offensive pressure. This might be an opportunity. Oh, but Backstar is going to put that one to the side, and that might just be the end of their offense altogether. Fanshawe finally break out of their own half, but it is only momentarily.
Yeah, opportunities like that should just go into the back of the net. There's no way that you should be missing those. I mean, yes, it is a hook shot, which can be iffy at times, or you really expect those to go in Division 1. In the highest division, you need to perform up to standard as Boxes. He gets to clear out. He gets to block on it. Will pay for it with his life. Decent bump from Kenrick. And Baxter, what can he get started? Boom towards the backward. And Kenrick, he's a little bit jumpy at times. Also jumping for that one, even though he wasn't massively beat. You never really want to jump for the ball when you are not seeing what's in front of you, because usually you will just be beat. And this 2-goal lead, I wouldn't be surprised if it extends itself into 3, maybe even a 4-goal lead.
Yeah, there's a big difference between risky challenges and just unnecessarily throwing yourself at the ball. Part of the reason that threes is such an interesting mode is because you do have a lot of places where you can challenge pretty riskily. You see as Azuro goes in for that one, Rotz will be behind them to back them up. Matter of fact, almost able to get the follow-up dunk as well, but it's a perfect example about what I'm talking about. In threes, it really is about relying on your teammates and making sure that when you make that challenge, you're forcing pressure on your opponents and then, well, leaving a place to back your teammates up. Azuro doesn't get the touch there that they need, so Gold Food will have to try and take this one out, but it looks like it's not going to be the end of the offense quite yet here for Fanshawe. Maybe they can build something, as there's been a couple of weird mistakes on the back end. Oh, but I don't think it's going to last for very long. Again, another quick counterattack. That's one of the biggest things I've seen out of Potomac. They're really good at getting space when they need to and converting that into something greater. Speaking of which, no conversion there as Kenrick throws out a shot and it doesn't really go anywhere. Now we're down to the last 2 minutes of this game, and it's a bit of a stalemate as both teams are just kind of hitting it back and forth.
And this is going to come down to finishing power. Currently, it is definitely Potomac showing that they are more accurate on the shots, and Fanshawe, they really have to start breaking through. The shots are somewhat similar as this one centers itself. Kenrick, I mean, you get the initial clear, but it's just so slacking so much as this finds its way into the back of the net. Rotz once again soaring up for that one, making sure it is converted.
Oh, my word. All right. Well, I don't want to call it yet, but I'm going to get pretty close to. We got a minute 34 left in a 3-0 lead with how little momentum and how much power we've seen into this Fanshawe offense. I think they might just have to write off game number 1 here, as they are struggling still to get out of their own half. Hyperia, we've got to see changes out of Fanshawe going into this next game. I don't want to say that they just need to take better shots, because that sounds so simple in itself, but really, what do we need to see out of Fanshawe if they want to have a more effective game too? Because with only about a minute left, I think this first one is going to be pretty much finished.
I mean, it's not even that they need to take better shots. I mean, yes, of course, we see a combination play. It doesn't convert, but it's kind of... They are getting the 1, they're getting the 2, they're not getting the 3 though. They're not getting the proper finishing or even putting a shot on target. Good save coming out from Baxter. They're just having one-offs, and those one-offs aren't even good enough to try and find itself into the back of the net. So it's just really that Potomac. They're more organized, they are capitalizing better on the opportunities and have that continued pressure, which is so incredibly important in Rocket League, that you kind of force your opponents in an awkward position continuously. And this is what I mean. Perfect example, Boxes and Kenrick both sitting in the midfield. Kenrick, he was in a position where he could go for it. He decides to rotate out, and Boxes then goes for a very lackluster shot, and this will come back. Yes, they got a goal. It won't probably be possible anymore.
Yeah, listen, maybe they get 2 kickoff goals in a row and all of a sudden momentum swings entirely in their favor, but a good demo out in midfield is going to allow them some space to pop this one on in, and all of a sudden they have got a 2-goal deficit here. It may not give them the game again, like you said, unless they get a pretty much picture-perfect kickoff, which, oh, they just might have. Oh, but a good challenge out of Gold Food is going to prevent that comeback from being possible without the time remaining. So, again, still, momentum in their favor, though. It's good that they found at least a way to get through the defense because, ooh, as they rip off another shot to finish the game, it does seem like Fanshawe have got a little bit of momentum in their favor. But again, just a really good game out of Potomac overall. Potomac really, for the entirety of that game, looked in control. I don't think there was any moment throughout those 5 minutes that I thought that there would maybe be a comeback at a Fanshawe. Again, their offense just didn't seem to have the firepower necessary.
You know, exactly. And, well, you see the tags. You see Season 1 Supersonic Legend. You see Season 1 Supersonic Legend tourney winner. It does really come into play. It does seem that they live up to that standard. And usually when you have those tags, you kind of set a standard for yourself that, well, you have to be showing up. And they are setting that standard, and they're making sure that their team stays in control of the matchup entirely. And, well, Fanshawe, they are not out. Definitely. This is only the first game, kind of pushing and pulling, see who comes out on top. It could just change up all in the next game, but Fanshawe, they do have to be a little bit more on it and really show what they've got in their march.
Oh, absolutely. And again, I mean, both of these teams have taken wins before. They have played really good squads and performed well against said squads. So I don't think that this is the best that we've seen out of Fanshawe yet. I think that we've got a lot left in that offense that we have yet to see here that's going to really dazzle us as the rest of the series goes on. But again, game 2 going to be pretty pivotal in that if they go down 0-2 and their opponents are going to be on game point, it's backs against the wall. They're going to have to throw everything they've got at their opponents here. So big game here for Fanshawe. If they do not perform in game number 2, it's going to be a rough uphill battle as they will need the reverse sweep. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Game 2 underway. Let's see what we've got.
Yeah, that would be incredibly ahead of ourselves. We already say that the reverse sweep would be necessary. I mean, well, it would be a little bit of a ridiculous statement, barring that we're just into this one. But you know what? If they play again, if they were in the previous one, I don't know. And these kind of things, they're not good. They have 1 goal already up for Potomac.
This is just panic on the back end all around here for Fanshawe. You see all of them try to make desperation touches just to keep it away from their opponents, and in doing so, they keep it on their side for far too long here. Definitely not what we were hoping to see out of this Fanshawe team going into the second game here. We were hoping that some of the corrections that were needed will, well, appear quicker than what we've seen so far, because it's the same sort of strategy as game number 1 for right now. And it's really not only is it not really dazzling us in the booth, it's definitely not doing anything to Potomac here as they are reading this through and through. Azuro goes for a challenge on the ceiling that will very easily make its way through. Again, it's just predictable right now. And as Gold Food cuts off that one, it continues to show what I'm speaking about. I talk about predictability, and there it shows itself. This is too simple of a touch out of boxes straight to the middle. Gold Food knew it was coming and slams it through. 2-0. Potomac with a very, very strong lead.
And you know I love this, right? You know I love people sitting up the midfield to clear that ball out. That's something that I pretty much always talk about as soon as a team is struggling to break out of the defensive position. Kenrick is doing that a little bit too much. He is staying up that midfield, thus giving so much pressure away to Potomac and really putting his team in a position where they have to get a good clear out, because he is nowhere to be seen. If they fail to get a good clear out, that is just going to lead to more pressure as Boxes. He's laying an egg on that boost as well. Not sure whether I agree with that position. I mean, if Kendrick can break through solo, blocks by the bar. It's a little bit unfortunate, but there's still 3:30 remaining. Boxes, he's up. Rots beats both defenders. Oh my word, can't get the second touch, but Zero soaring in from behind, or soaring, he was on the ground. 3-0 now. It's not looking great.
Again, panic touches and panic, I would just say rotations on the back end there. You see someone go up for it, miss it. I believe it was Kenrick, then immediately backstar, tried to turn on it a little bit early to make up for their teammates' miss. Instead, they probably should have just been trying to get back a little bit more, cut off the angle however they can. That early challenge there just puts them out of position, and it's an easy tap-in for Azuro there. And, well, it's another easy tap-in as Gold Food finds themselves the recipient of an open net on the back end here. Azuro pops this one high. Backstar gets bumped by Gold Food, and as Boxes just kind of waits gets there. They don't have the time to do so. Maybe they were low on boost. Maybe they just didn't have the right position. But again, it's this cutoff, this aggression out of Potomac that is giving them a 4-0 lead. We wanted corrections in game number 2, and unfortunately it doesn't look that way for Fanshawe. This could be the roughest game yet. Luckily, they've got 3 minutes to try and turn this one around, but I kind of want to say they've got to look forward already, but I feel like I might... Oh, wait, maybe not. Oh, good save out of Kendrick. But yes, indeed, it does look like they might just have to look to the next game already because the switch up here for Fanshawe is not working out.
It kind of seemed as if that first game was really a game that kicked everything off for Potomac. Definitely not for Fanshawe here, as they are obviously 4-0 down right now. And last week, they were able to keep themselves in by having a stellar defense. They didn't really amaze me on offense. They really got me going with their defensive performance. They don't have that defensive performance right now. They are struggling as Kendrick, he's able to break through. And then Rotz, he's still back to rotation, looking a little bit cleaner. There's still opportunities. Cleared away by Azura, and that will be the end of the opportunities on the side of Fanshawe, and actually it will turn into an offense of Potomac as they go in towards the center. GoldFood doesn't manage to get anything on it. Although you already said it, they might just have to start looking forward to the next game, or they could just stay in this game as a complete miss comes out. Kendrick will capitalize.
Well, for the first time in quite some time, we actually see some vulnerability here out of Potomac. That was a much-needed touch that did not arrive, and Kendrick will take advantage of it. All of a sudden, this one looks a little bit more doable. 3 goals is still a very, very difficult comeback to make, but it's a lot more doable than 4, and with 2 minutes left, there's a chance with the momentum on their side. Kendrick tries to go for the nuttiest angle ever. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Feel like you might need to go for something a little more standard. You don't really have the time to be freestyling like that. 1:45, you got to take whatever goal you can get, play a little bit more standard, keep this offensive pressure. One mistake could be the end of this one. They don't have time to waste.
Every day's Freestyle Friday. You just go for the nuttiest play that you can. Why not, right? Why not? If you can get a real pop-off goal instead of actually a comeback. That's a clip for Twitter. That's going to live forever. Is this comeback going to live forever? Well, probably not. So always go for those clips, guys. It doesn't really matter though. And Zero, he's definitely not going for the clips. Steady, putting it into the back of the net. Scores the hat trick.
Again, defensive misrotation is just not the friend here for everybody off of Fanshawe. 2 in the corner, 1 way far out in midfield, no one in net, and it's another goal going in here. As soon as it looked doable for everyone off of Potomac, it went away pretty quickly. Potomac continued to make this incredible stand on offense here. I believe I actually said Potomac almost had the chance to come back, so I apologize. I mean Fanshawe. But indeed, Fanshawe does not have the ability to come back here. I think we're going to have to move into game number 3. And I think we've just got to continue hammering home the point here. This has got to be a different defensive effort out of Fanshawe. It all starts in the backfield. If they don't do well in the backfield, there's no chance for their offense to flourish.
For sure. You really need to steadily build that offense. If you start laying bricks, right, and you start laying them all skewered and stuff like that, and then at the top, you're all of a sudden going to be like, yeah, no, we're going to place them perfectly. It doesn't matter because that foundation is still not good enough to actually keep up the wall, and it will slowly start to crumble, and with time, you'll just get absolutely demolished in a 6-1 fashion. We might be making a quick trip to South America if the Brazil does end up happening, as GoldFood is looking to do so. 30 seconds left in the matchup. It wouldn't surprise me if you make a quick trip to South America. I'm always in for a tiny little outdated meme.
I always would love to see the Brazil here. It's always a spectacular fashion when we see it, and again, as it really isn't going to make a difference on the outcome of the game, I think we'll be cheering for just for a moment for Potomac here to see if maybe they can get one more goal in within the last about 10 seconds we have here. Rotz goes up high. This is an open net. Can GoldFood get the redirect? Indeed they will, and the cheering will pay off as indeed we do see the Brazil back to neutral.
Yep, no, and nobody... Oh, I mean, well, you said back to neutral. I think for the sake of competition, I'm personally going to be rooting for Fanshawe. I really hope they make the comeback and at least bring us to that game 5, and then it's completely back to neutral. I promise. I'll go back to neutral after that one. Secretly, I'll still... But no, I'm just kidding. But, well, I'm sensing a sweep here, though, Bass. Like, as much as I hate to say it, I am not really that confident in how Fanshaw's looking. Like, they have flares of where they're absolutely phenomenal, but with only 2 shots, you're getting outshot. Quick math: 16 shots against 2, 8-1.
Oh my word! 8 times the shots here for everyone off Potomac. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. To give you a reference of how incredibly well done the offense was for everyone off of Potomac, their lowest player didn't manage a single goal, still had 4 assists, so not trying to take anything away from Rots, and Rots had more points than the other 2 players on Fanshawe for the bottom half, or for the bottom 2/3. They dominated all around. All 3 players off of Potomac there just put on a show and a half, and unfortunately, it really didn't look like at any point Fanshawe had an answer. Again, I mean, this isn't completely out of the question for Fanshawe, but they've got to try something different on the back end.
I don't know about you, Bass, but did you say Rots has more points than the bottom 2 players?
Yes, then off of what's it called? Off of Fanshawe, correct.
All right, okay, we're gonna be doing a quick math lesson here, right? So Rots had 357 points.
I didn't say combined. I said the bottom 2, then the 2.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, no, okay, no, fair enough. And well, I guess I need to take a math lesson or a listening lesson. It's all good. It's all good. Any opportunity that I say to trash on Bass, I try and take it. Sometimes it completely failed, but we do have a substitute coming in from Fanshawe. They might not be feeling as if they're completely the way that they were. We're going to have to see whether it actually works out. Vanry, that is a face, I'm pretty sure. Somebody who we saw last week who was really able to keep that defense together. And maybe with this substitution, I would love to at least get a reverse sweep, see being started.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see something. We'd like to just see a good game between the 2 of them because, again, the first one didn't necessarily look entirely in favor of Potomac. Second game, definitely entirely in favor. So hopefully we get a competitive third. Otherwise, that'll be the end of the road here. Potomac on game point. Meanwhile, everybody, oh my word, on the other end, over at Fanshawe, trying to hold on for dear life. And indeed, they're holding on already to start here. The offense extremely aggressive already for Potomac, as they have already, I believe, ripped off a shot here. But now they're locked into their own half. Vanry, defensive lockdown at midfield. Maybe that super sub is the change they needed.
Well, potentially. We already talked about Freestyle Fridays. We got 2 breakouts on the pitch as well. More a freestyle car, but I absolutely love seeing it as well. It is one of my go-to cars when I'm not feeling as well. And oh my word, Kenrick clears that straight into Rots. He does manage to get there in time, but Vanry's looking to go down the other end. The defense already looking a lot more steady. Please don't make me eat my words. Like, come on! Come on! I ruined it, Bass. I'm sorry.
Gaster Curse coming out at the wrong time there. Not the touch from boxes that was needed. And as Kenrick gets a little bit stalled up in no man's land in front of the box there, it's going to be an awkward save that does not arrive. And only 50 seconds in, 1-0. It continues to be a dazzling offense out of Potomac here. Maybe we can start to see the defensive stand, but oh my word, if that 1-2-1 play had been able to pull off, I would have been astonished. It still does seem, though. Never mind, I was going to say that Potomac have the stylish abilities, but instead it's Vanry who's just going to flick this with the power of Zeus out in midfield.
That was such a weird flick as well. I don't know how he managed to get that the way it actually went. Props to him, though. That is impressive stuff to tie this game up, and that is a good start to be getting something going. Yes, you didn't really manage to get it going in defense that much. I mean, it is only 1 goal. Oh, no. Okay, I haven't spoken too soon once again. Or at least not just yet. Azuro, he's still looking to make that happen as he goes in towards the center. Somehow managed to bait 2 players in from Fanshawe with a lackluster kind of touch. It is good enough. It's not lackluster if it baits in 2 opponents. This is a goal food. Well, you have to be challenging in boxes once again with a massive defensive performance. Needs to step up to the plate once again. Manages to get the clear out. And Rots, he still is not able to break through. 1-0 it remains.
Again, though, we're seeing a much better defense here. You were indeed correct. I almost jinxed them as Zuro takes a shot that goes off the post. But the difference is I feel like the cutting down angle is a lot quicker. We're not seeing that hesitancy where they just wait for a second and then see, oh, maybe it'll float down onto me and I'll be able to get a clean touch. No, just go for it immediately. Cut down the angle, because if you give any sort of room to Potomac, they will take a shot with it. We've seen them rip off 16 shots in the last game. Right here, though, they're going to be on the losing end for a moment. They've already ripped off 6 shots, but 2 shots is all it takes here. Fanshawe taking 2 great ones. Kenrick getting a bit in the way, definitely stealing the goal from Vanry, but that super sub coming in clutch so far.
So anyone over the age of, well, if you're at risk of a heart attack, I do apologize on behalf of Kenrick, giving us all one right there with almost saving that goal out of the back of the net. And sometimes one player, and that's nothing to take away from Baxter, but so one player could just change up the rotation that tiny bit that it all of a sudden all clicks. And well, maybe that's just those third game nerves that now are kind of, they play all out. Well, we've got nothing to lose. We've lost the initial 2, the second one massively as Rots. He doesn't have any boost to be extending this one. Double commit coming in. Oh my word. Boxes clears it out to the side. And they are playing all out. Fanshawe, they are really showing it.
They're really throwing everything they can at their opponents right now, and it's working out well. Again, though, they only have a 1-goal lead here. That is definitely not enough for them to start getting comfortable with this. They've got to try and secure another one, because this defense, while it has held strong so far, one mistake, and that'll be the end of it here. 2 minutes left, plenty of time for a comeback out of Potomac. But interestingly enough, I also wonder how this is going to work long-term. Oh, hold up. Let me not even look to the long-term quite yet. They've got to get out of this game first. Potomac aren't quite done. Great pass out of Rots and an even better finish from Zuro.
And Kenrick even was at the near post. He was at the right position. Slightly. He could have been positioned a little bit further back, but sometimes you kind of want to creep up so you get into the rotation a little bit better, and it doesn't work out. Rots, oh my, Rots? Question mark? I don't know what happened here with Rots.
The flip after, I feel like it was I didn't like that first touch. Everything afterwards was just panic. The flip into it that made it worse to the center. The other touch where they just kind of jumped and really didn't do much with it. It's again just panic on panic on panic, and sometimes that's all that it is that separates the two teams here. The 1-goal lead re-established now for Fanshawe with 1:30 left. Now they can sort of start looking towards making sure that they just hold on to it now. They don't necessarily need to score another one, although it would be advantageous considering that the offense of Potomac is not quite done yet. 1:20 left, and they're looking to finish this one in regulation, and well, they just might, because their aggression is unreal. They tie this up. They've got plenty of time to score another one, but again, easier said than done. The defense for Fanshawe this game has been stellar.
Goal is going to be happening relatively soon, either because of an overcommit. Well, actually, Vanry is able to clear it out, but this all started with 1 boost miss in the corner by Kenrick. That is so crazy about Rocket League, that the butterfly effect that a 1 boost miss can have is massive. If that player can all of a sudden clear the ball out towards the opposing side, everybody will slowly start running lower and lower on boost. The boost will be taken by the opponents, slowly being constricted, and then you really need that massive boomer out. Currently, oh my word, they're putting a lot, or not a lot of faith, not a lot of respect on the opponents, saying, hey, you won't score that one. We'll just sit on the ground for incredibly long, because we'll still be there quick in the final 25 seconds. They need to hold on to this lead to try and start the reverse sweep.
They need to do as best they can here, but as it's an unrelenting offense from Potomac, I got a little bit nervous there because I think we all saw the same thing. That touch scared the living heck out of me as Boxes serves it up for Rots, and 3-3 it becomes. All of a sudden, we look poised to go to overtime, but this kickoff could prove incredibly pivotal. If this goes in either favor, this could be the end of regulation. Oh, Kenrick with a really heads-up touch. This could be something. Oh, but neither player goes for it out at midfield, and Potomac have a chance. This one goes to the center. Oh, my word. How are we going to overtime?
Block Boxers, he scared the ever-living heckadoodles out of me, but he manages to make the save. Oh my word, I don't know how that happened, but Fanshawe, if they can make a comeback because of this, that would be absolutely phenomenal. Boxers looking to combine with Kenrick. He didn't really get the desired touch, but Vanry might have a shot. Oh, Kenrick rotate now, couldn't get the bump on Azuro, but he stayed in. He wants that boost and he wants that play to be happening. Vanry, the only one back, 2 players coming against him. Vanry gets demoed, completely taken out. Russ might be doing it alone. Oh my word, this overtime, a lot of demos, maybe even more demos than happened in the match in general. So it goes in the center. Boxers once again coming in massive. Do you really want anybody else in defense than Boxers? Oh my word.
All I'm going to say is that I think at some point Boxes was up for the player of the week just purely because of the defensive stand. Not even sure. They might have actually already won defensive player or player of the week for their defensive stand. They deserve it again just for this here today. The difference between the first couple games here and what we're seeing now is that Boxes wasn't ready on defense. Now all of a sudden he's turned back into that cement box we mentioned last time, just saving everything necessary while his teammates try to get an offense together. Oh, but they might need to panic a little bit on defense. Good clear out of Kenrick as another player will step up to make sure the defense stands strong. Now can Boxes be the offensive player as well? From one end to the other, Boxes does it all and finishes this game in overtime with a beautiful shot past the Zero.
Boxers a cement box, but boy can he move. Oh my word, the agility on that man is absolutely stunning, and every single week he just wins my heart more and more and more. I've never felt that much love for a player who sits back on defense and really, well, 5 saves for him. I wanted to say he doesn't really do anything on offense. He did get that goal, but apart from that, he is the brick wall. And Boxers, if they make the comeback, if this is the start of the reverse sweep, I am losing my mind. But Fanshawe, they look so much better.
This is just an entirely different game here out of Fanshawe. Indeed, that super sub was absolutely pivotal to the way that they play. The crazy thing here, though, is that it didn't seem to slow down the offense whatsoever from Potomac. They just more got used to it. Potomac still ripped off a total of 15 shots. They were unrelenting on net. It's just that they could withstand the pressure. With 9 total saves coming out of Fanshawe, it really did seem like their defense entirely turned around here. So maybe this is a strategy, but the big thing is that now comes the time to see how Potomac adjusts. We had seen Fanshawe try to adjust for 2 games straight and fail to do so. Then get into the third game and really put on quite a spectacle where it just looked different. Now comes how we see how everybody off Potomac responds here. If they have a good response in game number 4, this could be the end of it. Hypheria, again, I know we keep saying it, but really every single one of these games in this series has been extremely pivotal. What a first matchup here for week number 4. I don't think I could have asked for anything more, and I hope these players are ready because game number 4 of week number 4 is just about to start.
Seems like Fanshawe are just a recipe of having an interesting series for sure. And well, this start is a little bit awkward because Vanry and Boxers were both on the sidewall. The 2 breakouts looking to make something happen. Well, neither of them were really able to get a touch, and that has resulted in this offense coming out from Potomac. They do manage to deal with it. Kenrick wanted to get a heads-up touch, and as Vanry has to make an orchid save and that boost deal from Russ, it's not going to matter that much if you get a demo on a 0 and then are able to clear it out. Surely, oh my word, so many demos and it happening in a quick succession. This one popping in towards the center. Kenrick doesn't want to go for it. Does get speed by Russ, who booms a shot on target. Vanry has no boost in the tank, and this is scary. A pass going in towards the center. 0 with a flick inwards, and surely this is a goal. Ruts, he takes his time, puts it in, but what a weird run of play.
Oh my god, Azuro with such a heads-up cut there, then a great backflip, pops it high, and Rots puts this one in. Listen, I understand Rots comes away with a goal there, but pretty much give 90% there to Azuro. Azuro definitely has been the main component in their offense. Not to take anything away from Rots or goal food there, but man, have we said Azuro's name a lot when it comes to this offense. He is part of the reason that we've seen such a stellar attacking third out of everyone off of Potomac here. And it's continuing into game number 4. Can they finish it here, though? Oh, my word! Rots with the most nutty redirect. Maybe he heard me. Maybe he was like, oh, you want to compliment Azuro? How about I show off for a second? What a redirect from midfield out of Rots.
Well, no, it was all the pass from a zero, obviously. That Rots was able to score that one. I'm just messing about. That was absolutely insane. The placement on that is ridiculous. And the kickoff of Rots is also not slacking the slightest. Well, he created this entire opportunity. Good demo coming in from Goldfood. Rots looking for his hat trick. Decides to fake Kenrick out. Takes the long road around. Doesn't manage to take the long road around properly, or at least not just yet. Goldfood, or it's a massive detour. That could just be the case as well. Boxes, he's looking to clear this one out. Rots, he's being such a nuisance right now, and already the shots difference is absolutely massive. And with the way that Fanshawe play, this comeback is going to be incredibly hard. Oh my word. Okay, yeah, this comeback is going to be incredibly hard.
Not if you make a mistake like that, though. Azuro tries to dribble this one out at midfield. Now it's a panic to get into the back end. All of a sudden, it's a chance for Fanshawe. Kenrick, no! Kenrick couldn't finish that one off, and there goes all of that counter-attacking pressure. That's the big thing about a counter-attack, is you have to have that lethal shot quickly. Otherwise, you give time for your opponents to get set up on back end, and well, that needed to be a shot on target there. Kenrick's double tap did not arrive, and 0-2, it will remain. 2:40 left here. Plenty of time for a comeback out of Fanshawe to try and continue this series, but as it stands right now, they look to be finished in 4 here. Maybe they can make a comeback in the latter half of this game, but they're not necessarily having that firepower on offense that we've been looking for.
What a demo by Goldfood as well. That play from Kenrick was incredibly well placed. They controlled that, and then he got completely taken out of the game, as Kenrick is looking to do it once again, or at least break out of that defensive position, because, well, in order to score, you first need to break out of defense. They can have an opportunity to do so here. Kenrick cut in a little bit too much, and the aerial is also not getting anything going. As this pass, that might get something going. Boxes up for it, puts it slightly wide. Now they are slowly chipping away at the time. Oh, while that is happening, Fanshawe are getting more going inch by inch. They are getting closer to a goal happening.
They're getting close, but again, it's that firepower that we keep talking about. The final shot for most of what they're doing on offense just doesn't seem to be much of anything. Boxes takes a standard shot here. The last time he took a shot was where it hit the post or the backboard there. It just doesn't seem like the final attempt is really something special. Oh, word out of, I was going to say, it's nothing special out of Fanshawe, but again, if you want an example, how about Potomac show you how to? Rots just gets a ridiculous double tap off the backboard. Sad it didn't go in, but very heads up out of Goldfood to dive on an awkward Kenrick to secure it. 3-0 here. And again, Potomac just putting on a showing on offense.
I think he didn't have the flip, actually. I thought he got a flip reset, but I'm pretty sure that Rots would have flipped into that ball to just put it in. I mean, we will never know, I guess, until somebody goes and fact checks that statement. But with 1 minute remaining, this is a phenomenal opportunity. Vanry saw Rots on the backboard, felt the need to go, but with 12 boosts, you're not really going to be reaching that ball as Rots gets past boxes. That is always the biggest task in the defense of Fanshawe. Oh my word, this is just all shambles, and shambles definitely favor Fanshawe Potomac, because the more shambles are happening, the more time gets wasted off the clock, and this is somehow not a goal just yet. Still no. Oh my word, Fanshawe, I don't know what's going on in that offensive half.
I'm just about to break my chair right now. I am freaking out as over and over and over again Fanshawe get their opportunities to put something in, but they just can't find the back of the net. It's a great defensive effort as well. Again, it's not to say that it's been a bad offense, oh my word, out of Fanshawe. It's just the amount of saves that all of a sudden Potomac have made are just ridiculous. 6, now 7 total saves for Fanshawe. All 3 players, or excuse me, Potomac, all 3 players putting in their work on the back end here, and I think it's going to secure them the series here. 6 seconds left, a 3-goal difference, 2-goal difference, and I believe that we are all wrapped up. Well done here to Potomac State. This was a heck of a performance.
Yeah, luckily your chair isn't being able to get broken, because it is battle tested. As where was this played throughout the entirety of the match? Like, this was such a great combining play, and I think they do know it's over. Double committing on that kickoff. It does end instantly. It doesn't roll up the wall to create another opportunity. Potomac, they managed to take this one home. It would have been a completely different ball game if they actually managed to get something going in those initial 2 games. It was a little bit lackluster there on defense. It was a little bit, that rotation just didn't manage to click. And then, well, game 3, they gave us a phenomenal one at that. Fanshawe, that is pretty decent, to be fair.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it wasn't a bad performance out of Fanshawe in any way, shape, or form. The unfortunate part was, again, like I said, going into game number 4 was, what was the adjustment we were going to see out of Potomac? Because it was very tense going into game 3. It definitely looked like Fanshawe could take a game or take a couple games if they had the right momentum, but it was all dependent on what type of adjustments we saw out of Potomac. And one of the biggest things that we saw out of Potomac is that they were ready on defense. Yes, their offense had been electric, but they decided, all right, let's tone it down. And I say tone it down by a tad. They took 11 shots this game rather than over 15. But even that little bit of difference allowed them some more pressure on defense that they could withstand. And it allowed them a much cleaner back half of the field that turned into a better front half. Just overall, a very, very good showing in the end there for Potomac. They really did clutch that win in the best way possible and deserved the series win here today. Really just well done all around. I would say, I mean, going between the two players, it's either Azuro or Rods that you've got to look at for the offense being, you know, that MVP there. I don't really know which one I could necessarily give it to, though, Hyperia. I'm not going to say a preference, quote unquote, but who do you really put for that offensive MVP for this game?
Well, while Azuro had phenomenal moments, I think it was really Rots who managed to show up consistently and really was able to get booming shots every single time, also in the game that they lost and also in the initial 2 games. Azuro, he managed to get it going after the second game. He really got the boosters running, he got the engines up and running, but Rots was there from the start. So I think I have to give it to Rots in that regard, and that doesn't take anything away from Azuro. That is more credit towards Rots than it's taking anything away from Azuro, but it is still, they all work together so incredibly well. We've named 2 players. There are 3 players on the pitch. Massive props to GoFood for holding down that back half, because for 2 phenomenal offensive players, you need a solid wall. If you don't have boxes, then I guess GoFood is a phenomenal option as well. The GoFood, you need to lock that defense down, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah. All 3 of the players there from that team really just did incredibly well. And yeah, big shout out to all 3 of them. Well played for Potomac. They're going to advance to and 1 here, and unfortunately for Fanshawe, they're going to go down to 1-3. Definitely plenty of time here for the rest of the season for Fanshawe to try and make a comeback here. I don't want to say that, you know, this is the end of their season, but again, we mentioned this before the cast. It's a very difficult uphill battle now. They need to win 2 in a row just to go even, and then from there on out, they need to win the rest of them to have a good shot at taking the playoffs. But that is not here nor there. We are not here to talk about Fanshawe. We are here to talk about Potomac, and more specifically, Rots, welcome to the booth, my friend. Congratulations on that win. How are you feeling right now, my guy?
It was good. It was a good win. I thought we all played pretty well.
I mean, I would say so. You guys definitely did well in game number 2 more than anywhere else. You guys absolutely dominated there. Had I'm not going to say a rough third game, a tense third game for sure, where it kind of went back and forth. But in game number 4, you guys had a quick response. We're very on top of everything that was going on there and really took a definite win at the end. We were talking about in the booth how you were definitely a key player on the offense there, but it really did look like you guys had a full 3-man rotation. Today, it seemed like you and Azuro were on offense while we had GoFood at the back there playing a very defensive game. Is that the usual rotation, or is it just sort of, you know, as it develops, that's what happens?
It's more of like adaptation. It's usually GoFood going as first man and creating chaos, and then I'm usually second man to create a pass or maybe a shot, and then Azuro's can be second or third man. Usually our third man to fill in just in case one of us miss, or he's on defense just in case.
I mean, you did great. That was phenomenal, Hyperia. Any questions for the winner of our last match?
Well, I mean, looking in towards the future, we've got absolutely amazing schools in this Tier 1 division. You guys are now 3-1. Who are you really expecting to have a tough time against later on?
To be honest, I don't really know our schedule. I kind of have to look at that. I've been really busy with schoolwork and stuff, so I definitely have to look at that and see who we're going up against.
Well, I mean, at the same time, the Lincoln Land Loggers, I think, is going to be a battle for sure. They will be playing later today as well, so you might be able to get some inside info and note something down. In general, how do you feel that the competition is right now? Do you think it's really competitive for you guys?
Yeah, it's competitive. I obviously expect our team to do well because I have high expectations for us. But I'm glad there's good competition in this league, and I hope it continues to move forward and we keep improving. Durham's okay. Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to the Durham matchup. That should be fun.
Our producer let us know behind the scenes that they're going to be facing Durham next weekend. Yeah, that's definitely a team to watch out for. All of these guys, or I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of the guys we have here competed in other collegiate leagues before and have done really well there. So I think you guys are going to give a good run for their money to pretty much everybody. So before we let you go, I do have one more thing I do want to highlight. What I think it was the last game there, game number 4. You hit one of the most ridiculous redirects from basically midfield that hit the top left corner almost perfectly. Was that pretty much you hit the goal and you went, all right, that's game, that's it, that's the end of the series? Or was it just sort of, keep going? Or what was the feel after that goal?
Well, it definitely felt good because, losing game 3 really felt bad because, we wanted a clean sweep. But hitting that redirect felt really good. As soon as I hit it, I was like, yeah, that's in. And then we kind of moved forward. But it was honestly really good. It definitely kept our momentum up to finish the game out strong.
Nice. I'm glad to hear it. All right, Hypheria, I'll let you ask him the last question. Any last words for Rots before we let him go?
How are you going to be celebrating with your teammate?
With COVID, probably just maybe some Netflix movies over Discord or something.
Nice.
Very nice, very nice. Intimate time potentially. Well, with that, we're gonna let you go celebrate, Rolls. Thank you so much for coming on here. Massive shout out to you and your team. Yeah, go ahead and celebrate. Watch some Netflix movies, and let me know if you find a good one. Have a good one, Rods.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, have a good one, Rods.
You too. All right. Thanks.
All right. Sweet. Well, with that, I believe that is going to be the end of our first series here today for week 4 of the NECC Rocket League. That was a phenomenal series back and forth. Some real high-octane action there to start off, Hypheria. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that you've got another series right on after this one. So we've got one quick word we'd like to mention before we do head on to the next series, and that is going to be a quick thank you to our partners here at the NECC. We've only got one that we've got to read to you real quick, and we'll hear some more words from the rest of them a little bit later. But the one guys we want to highlight real quick is going to be MetaPro Gaming. Shout out to MetaPro Gaming. MetaPro Gaming is a full-service esports management, developmental, and consulting company. And Meta provides esports coaching, college esports management, arena design, and equipment. If you'd like to learn more, visit them at metaprogaming.gg. Again, metaprogaming.gg. And, well, if you guys would like to learn some more about some of the other guys who help us out, we're going to go to a very quick break. And like I said, when we return, we're going to be having the lovely Hypheria back with another one of our casters. And, well, you just have to figure out who. Stay tuned to find out more. We will return in just a moment.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.